I should have been dead by now, according to the odds, and I'm not. My name is Charlie Lewis. I'm a journalist and I live in Toronto.
When was the first time you got diagnosed with an illness?
Oh, wow. I was December 3rd, 2011, 4 days before my birthday. My wife and I were going out for lunch, a place we always went, and I was standing up getting dressed, and the next thing I knew, I was on the floor. I thought, no exaggeration, I had been shot in the back. The pain was unbelievable. I couldn't move, I couldn't talk. Well, it turned out that I suffered from a terrible case of stenosis. So the spine basically will narrow in places. Mine narrowed completely, hitting all those nerves. Think of your worst trip to the dentist, but in your back. At that very moment, my entire life changed. Now I have cancer. And I found out on a Friday night at 8 o'clock. And the first thing I said is, the next time, call me on a Saturday morning, because, what am I supposed to do with this information now? And then when I made my first trip to Princess Margaret, the cancer hospital here in Toronto, all I remember is seeing all these people, young, old, whatever, all with cancer. And I was suddenly like, well, you're nobody special. When I looked at them, they were like laughing and they were talking and sharing stories. Like there was no like weeping, there was no, oh, woe is me. It's just like people saying, okay, I'll deal with this.
Did you feel like part of them?
Oh yeah, felt much like, yeah, I'm here, I'm part of you. Yeah, I share something with you guys.
What is the impact on you, having gone through cancer, of knowing that cancer is the leading underlying condition leading people to request euthanasia?
I hate to think it, but I think that their doctors are too often saying, sure, if that's what you want, it's up to you. Rather than saying, I'm a doctor, this makes no damn sense. You can live with this for years without pain.
Were you eligible for euthanasia?
Oh yeah, easily. I never applied, but between my back and the cancer, I'm sure I would have had no problem.
Dying with Dignity is using the stories of people who have been victims of abuse or trauma and saying they are, in a certain sense, candidates for MAID. What do you think about that?
I think it's awful. I think it's abusive in itself. When I was a kid, I was sexually abused. I don't want to talk any more about it, but I was. So does that mean I should kill myself? This is like my father used to say about hate. Hating somebody is like taking poison and hoping the other guy dies. Why would I end my life because of the work of some, asshole who did something terrible? It just doesn't seem right. The best answer is to live your life healthily.
Tell me what motivated you to start volunteering in palliative care.
I believed that you could still get meaning out of your life in that short term. The thing with many of those people was that they were alone. Older people, their kids never visited, their husbands or wives were dead, and they were alone, right? And that's hard, being in a room, facing all this stuff. So being with them, I felt was really important. Like I felt like it's not about me, but I was really doing something for somebody else.
Do you think your own suffering made you more open to doing that?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of what there were people going through is suffering, and I was suffering. I'm suffering today, actually, not because of you, but because of my back. I knew what that was like. And so I felt that I could somehow relate to them, and by relating to them, I wasn't just talking through my hat. I didn't say cliches. Like I knew they were hurting.
Why were you able to avoid the cliches?
Because I was a journalist. And I had an editor years ago say, anytime a cliche comes to your mind, find another way to say it in your own words. I never forgot that.
What is it that gave you perspective on your suffering?
Before everything of this happened, I could cycle 200 kilometers, I could go mountain climbing, I could play squash, all that. And when I was walking down the street, all I saw was healthy people, right? Then when this happened, and I was having to use a cane and having to lean against a wall, suddenly all these other people in wheelchairs or walkers bent over. I thought, where did they all come from? And they were there all the time, but I just didn't look at them. Why would I look at them, right? They're just, I've got nothing in common. Now I suddenly realize I was an ass for thinking that way, because I'm one of those people.
What do you want Canadians to know?
You may be very healthy and vibrant right now, and you walk by people who are not, and you just ignore them. But you have to know that this may happen to you someday, and you're going to need love and care. It may be happening to your parents, your children, your spouse, and they're going to need love and care. So in the meantime, start showing those people love and care.